If a woman is essayed and becomes pregnant from it, and she terminates that pregnancy, and becomes a murder charge, do you think that she has a right to kill her first? Sorry.
Now, I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to answer your question directly, but I want a promise from you.
Sorry, I apologize. I'm going to censor that from now on. I'm sorry.
Hang on.
God, let him fucking talk. Holy shit.
I'm going to answer your question directly, but I want to promise that after I give you the answer, you let me give an explanation without spurging the fuck out. You promise? I want you to say I promise.
I promise.
All right. So the answer is yes, she should carry the pregnancy to term. And here's my reasoning for why. So the idea here is that if you are SA'd, are you allowed to go home and one of your other children? The answer to that, hang on, before you fucking go fucking ballistic, calm the fuck down and just listen, okay? You're not allowed to go home with your other children. Why? Because you're murdering a life. Because you are SA'd does not then give you the right to kill somebody else just because you're SA'd. That makes no sense. So the same logic would be applied here. You don't believe this is a human life, so it's always justified. However, I do believe it's a human life. So what you're actually saying to me is, Andrew, because I was SA'd, do I now have permission to murder? And the answer is no, of course not.
We don't see it as murder.
I'm really disappointed, Andrew, because you seem like a really logical guy, and this is just it's just disappointing, frankly. Everything that you're saying.
It's not disappointing to me. It's not surprising at all.
Saying that you're disappointed by an argument but not refuting the argument is what's fucking disappointing.
Well, there's nothing that I can say that you're going to tell me that I'm blowing up. You're going to tell me that I am making illogical arguments. If my rebuttal is my rebuttal, then how?
What I'll do is I'll listen carefully to your argument. I'll think about it. I'll conditionalize it. I'll see if it makes sense or doesn't make sense, and I'll either give you a counter argument or I'll agree with you.
So do you trust? I've been
doing the whole night.
Sorry, may I?
Go ahead.
Do you trust a doctor? Okay, if you get cancer, do you trust a doctor to cure that cancer?
Yeah.
Okay, if you break a bone, do you trust that doctor to fix your bone and to get you back on your feet or whatever it is?
Sure.
Okay, so if a doctor has the same moral imperative to cure your cancer and to fix a bone, and they also are able to terminate a pregnancy, why do you think that is now all of a sudden something completely different? It's different than a surgery.
Well, so you're making a category here. I'll explain. So I agree with you. A doctor can terminate a pregnancy, not that he ought to do so. So what we're talking about here is a moral imperative about whether a doctor should or should not do this. Like, for instance, you agree with me that a doctor could cut off your arm right now, right?
Yeah, but they wouldn't, the same way that they would.
Hang on. You agree with me that they could, right?
Sure.
Now I just answered yes.
They could, but they won't.
Yes, they could. But should they?
To the panel or not?
Mm-hmm. Should they?
Should they what? Cut off your arm?
Should they cut off your arm? Even though they can't.
Obviously they shouldn't. That's not part of their medical profession.
Obviously they shouldn't. So you asking me the question of, can a doctor do this? My answer is, of course they can do it, but should they do it?
Yes, they should. It's a medical procedure like anything else. I think that you're misunderstanding. Have you actually tracked what it's like? You have kids yourself, right? Mm-hmm. So you watched through your wife's pregnancies, if there was multiple, how that child grew, right? So there's a certain point where that child is quite literally a clump of cells about that big. I'm not saying that a kid who is in there.
But are you aware that all scientists consider that human life? All.
So is a plant then. So is everything. You eat steak.
A plant is plant life.
You eat steak. Is that murder?
I agree that I killed the cow. Yeah.
But that's not murder in your books because it's not a human person. Like, what? A fetus isn't a human.
Mm-hmm. I don't give animals the same moral consideration I give humans, but I still consider them animals.
So you consider humans animals. Humans are animals.
Humans are, Homo sapiens sapiens.
I give moral consideration to the category of animal that is human being.
How many kids have you adopted?
I do not give moral consideration to the category that is not human being.
Can I say something?
So therefore, let her speak.
That is not fair. That doesn't make any sense.
During hunting season,
that doesn't make any sense.
Blast a deer in the fucking brain and watch his brain go everywhere, and I go out there and I cut his ass up and I munch his ass down, and he's delicious. He's delicious.
You're so manly.
I can't wait to do it again the next year.
Not really.
I have no moral consideration for a fucking deer. It has nothing to do with the human category. Nothing.
All right, make
Okay.
your thing, and then I'm
Yes,
moving
you-
this.
Yeah,
shit.
I would like to move this on.
I don't know how helpful it is, but I see both sides. Like, honestly, like, and I maybe, again, it's not helpful. I definitely see as a female having that option to abort. Like, let's say if it is an SA situation, I totally, like, of course, like, I'm a female. Like, I know so many women in my life that have had to do that. Like, so, but also I see your side as well, how you can feel passionate about how a fetus is still a life, and like I can see that, you know what I'm saying? So I feel torn. So I know that's not helpful, but I just want to say that I see both sides, and I think that you both have good points.
Thank
So,
you.
Yeah, that's
Just
it.
don't get pregnant if you don't
No,
want to.
well, that's another thing too. Is if a man wants a baby so bad, he should have a baby with a woman who wants to have that baby too.
Yeah,
That's
but
what-
if
yeah.
you don't want to have a baby, then keep your legs closed or be on birth control or make him wear a condom.
Sure, yeah.
Don't get
Yeah,
an abortion
absolutely.
like that, though.
Don't let it get to that point, but that's why
Yeah.
contraceptives should be absolutely available.
Because
and
like
pushed
right
to
now,
everybody.
women are
Next
just
topic.
having sex.
Wait,
like,
he's
moving
moving.
it
Brian's
on.
moving it on. Brian's moving it on.
We have a lot of chats. There's a backlog, so don't.
Yay.
Don't